There we go. So guys, get your questions in. Here he is. Hi, Derek. How are you doing?
What's going on?
Yeah, thank you for joining me.
Hello, everybody.
How are you? All right?
I'm good. I just got my fasted cardio in.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions we got in the last live
Really?
event. It was about fasting.
Yeah, I was actually watching the interview with Evan. It was good.
Yeah, enjoyed it. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for having us on, by the way.
no, thank you very much for joining me, mate. That's I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. So what have you been doing for your fasted cardio? You've been walking, cycling. What do you do for that?
Usually at the beginning of my preps, which is what I did this year, I just walked outside, for maybe 30 minutes or something. Nothing intense. Used to in the past, I would do like HIIT cardio, sometime midway through the prep to get the metabolism really up and ramping, But this year I've done no HIIT cardio, only steady state, either on the incline walk or on the stairs. So,
right. Okay.
but I've done a lot more cardio this year, having to keep my weight down. So.
Right. Okay. How do you determine which to choose? What makes you decide between HIIT and steady state?
In the past, like until probably this year, or actually last year. So last year I did no fasted cardio. I actually trained on less than a meal, it was a mini meal kind of.
Right.
So I trained early in the morning and then did evening cardio, and I was more peeled than I've ever been in my life. At the Olympia last year, it just wasn't filled out. This year I've done fasted cardio ever since the beginning of my prep, and I've always been a huge believer in it. But truthfully, I think like you asked, like, how do I pick? In my off season, it's just whatever I feel like doing. Like if I want to do some HIIT on the elliptical, I'll do some intervals on the elliptical. If I want to do stairs, I'll do that. If I want to walk, I will. Whatever. As long as I get something in, get my heart rate up, for 20, 30 minutes at least in my off season. Now, when it comes to pre-contest, everything is like same time every day, very consistent. Usually, like to better answer your question for a prep, is you want to start off with less cardio, with less intensity, and then build it up as you go along. Because once you add it in, then it's probably not coming back out. So if you add an extra 5 minutes or increase the intensity, you're probably not going to go backwards after you put it in. So
yeah, that makes sense. So when you say building up the intensity, you don't necessarily mean like changing the cardio. You just mean making it longer, making it faster.
No, I do actually mean changing it up. So for example, like I said at the beginning, I walked outside, which is it's not very hilly here in Florida, but it is in Indiana. But so it's no incline really to walk on, and you're just kind of walking at your own pace. So that would be a low intensity. You probably want to do a little bit longer, maybe an extra 5 or 10 minutes compared to something a little bit faster or more intense. So I switched it to a few weeks ago to stairs.
Okay.
For fasted cardio. So that would be like increasing the intensity because it's much harder, right? It's going to get your heart rate up much higher. So that increases the intensity versus the duration would be the time.
Does switching to stairs interfere at all with like your leg sessions? Obviously, you're going to get a bit of a pump, bit of tired out here.
At first, yeah, it always kind of kicks my butt like the first week or two, and I always end up complaining to my coach. Not complaining, just letting him know, like, hey, like my legs are sore, they're tired. I'm not able to push as much volume in my leg training as I was before I started doing the intense cardio. But then, of course, with nutrition and everything, and you can still stay anabolic and still recover and get good training sessions in. So now I hit legs yesterday, and it was one of the best training sessions I've had, in this prep. So
nice.
You just have to. The thing is like I'm learning every year more and more about bodybuilding and about myself, my physique, my mental state. All of that matters so much. And this year, I'm doing my own training like I used to, but what I learned from Ben Pekulski last year and everyone in my 40, which is where I'm training now. But I'm doing my own training there, and I'm training with some other guys there. But last year, Ben had all the reign as far as my training was concerned, whereas my coach, James Brown, had all my nutrition and everything. But this year, like I said, each year I'm learning how to train smarter, to where before I always felt like if I didn't go in and just absolutely murder myself, even on arm day, like if I didn't murder myself every single day and feel horrible, then I felt like somebody else was out there doing that and gonna beat me. But this year, my physique is like transformed like crazy. It looks not, my mental and physical state is night and day compared to last year. And it's because I've learned how to manage my stress a whole lot better throughout the day. But even when I like wake up, like the first thing I think about is still bodybuilding. What am I training today? Got my meals ready, blah, 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 blah. Everything a bodybuilder thinks about first thing in the morning. But instead of getting anxiety and stressed about it, I'm like, okay, Derek, you know you're going to get it, your cardio done. You know you're going to train today and you're going to give 100% effort. You know you're going to stick to your diet and get everything done that you have to do. So why don't you just enjoy it? Why don't you just, I mean, if this was 6 weeks after the Olympia, you would enjoy the hell out of this. Like, so why would you go back to how you were last year and be stressed out at 6 weeks out, thinking, oh, am I going hard enough? Am I training hard enough? Am I doing the right things? Instead, I just own it and know that I'm doing what I have to do is best for me. So if I need to take a rest day, I take a rest day. If I need to take it a little bit easy in the gym, as far as not easy as in like I'm not progressing, as in just like, you know, just, oh, I had a workout today. It's more of like a different type of stimulus or different type of training. I may either go heavier with less reps and less sets, or if I have more food, I might actually push a lot more volume. So it just depends on the nutrition, and how I feel determines on how I train and managing my stress. Anyway, I rambled. Time for your questions.
No, that's great, man. It's exactly the kind of thing we like to hear.
This is what happens. I always go into an interview. I'm like, I'm not gonna say as much this time, and then I don't kind of.
No, I'd actually rather you said more, because the more you say, the less I have to say, and I'm not as proud. So I'll leave most of that up to you.
Dude, let me tell you, man. Between you and I and everybody else is watching, dude, the people that video me get so sick of me. I'm pretty sure if anybody at Animal or Universal's watching right now, they can probably attest to this, that I probably talk way too much, ramble way too much. So I don't know. It's just funny.
All right, no, that's cool. Just whilst we've got quite a few people watching here at the moment, guys, if you do have any questions, feel free to shout them out. Make them respectful, please, and we'll try and fit them in. But obviously, we are a supplement company, so Derek, I would love to hear some more about it. So the first question we've got here is, you know, what's your kind of daily routine with your supplements? What do you like to take?
Right. So I have been a huge like supplement junkie ever since I was a gym bro back in college. Cool little story real quick. One of the first little supplement stores I walked into was my coach now. He owned it back in my little town in Indiana, and he would train at the gym, and everyone was like, hey, you need to go talk to James and whatever at his supplement store. And so I walk in and, you know, hey man, I want to put on some size. I'm barely 140 pounds, by the way. And I'm like, hey man, I want to put some size on, but I don't want to get too big, man. So I don't want to take, I don't know if I should take creatine, or I don't know, man. Like, is that bad for me? Should I take creatine? Is that going to give me stretch marks? Because if I get stretch marks, man, I don't want to get too big. And that was my whole ignorant mentality back then. Because I didn't want that. I wanted more of that streamlined model look. Yeah. So when I first started taking supplements, it was from, like I said, it was from James's supplement store. And one of the first products I'd ever taken, and this is so crazy, was actually the Animal Pack vitamin.
Yeah.
That was one of the first products he had given me. And then actually one of the first diets that I ever did, which is pretty awesome, was Evan Sintapani's $50 Big on a Budget, the animals video from several years back. Yeah. That was the first bodybuilding diet that I ever done before I had a coach or knew anything about bodybuilding. So I'm taking Animal Pack and following Big on a Budget, Evan Sintapani, as my first real bodybuilding like effort. Like that was the first step in my journey. So it's just crazy that a few years after that, like I'm actually sponsored by Animal and Universal. I'm hanging out and training with Evan, and we're all friends and we're all good now. And how my career's transpired to where it's at. But yeah, the first few products I took, like I said, was Animal Pack. It was a protein and like a pre-workout and creatine. So all really good products for the gym, right? But I wasn't as concerned about my health. I really was thinking to myself, like, why am I taking vitamins? Like, I don't care to take vitamins. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a bodybuilder. Like, I want protein. I want creatine. I want, again, I don't want to get too big.
Yeah.
But
I love that.
Eventually my mindset changed. And I said, hey, I want to push myself and see how big and how great I could be as a bodybuilder. But, yeah, I started with the basics. They're inexpensive products. Whey protein, pre-workout, creatine, and vitamins. That's like the 4 that I kind of started with that I took most consistently. I did take like a meal replacement shake or like mass gainers and stuff, and maybe some like pump products too or something like that. It's like blood flow products. I would dabble into that, but those were my main 4 that I started with and that I still have today that I'm a huge believer in.
Yeah.
Is the vitamins, creatine, protein. And I'd have to admit, amino acids. So like intra-workout, I always took amino acids. And still to today, I bet Animal's probably taken a loss because of me on the juiced aminos, at least the grape flavor.
Yeah.
Because I ordered so much of it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's it. I like what you were saying about, I don't want to get too big, don't want to get too big. I think that's quite standard with, all lads that get into the gym, not just bodybuilders. At the start, you're afraid of getting too big, but then you can't get big enough.
It's crazy. It's crazy because, like, when I first saw, like, a picture of Jay Cutler, I was like, no way do I ever want to look like that. No way. And then I got to know Jay and who he was, and I started living the lifestyle of a bodybuilder, and I went from I don't want to look like that to oh hell yeah, like I'm gonna achieve that. Like that's who I'm gonna be. Like I want to be my own version of that, And so yeah, he's been a huge inspiration. Jay has now, but it's just funny how like each year you want like the effort that you put in. If you're putting 110% effort day in day out, it's hard to just say, well, I don't want to progress anymore because whatever, you know what I mean? Which is the same mentality I've always had with why can people not stick to a diet or take their supplements like a post-workout shake right away? Like if you're going to go to the gym every single day and you know it, and like, you're passionate about training, but you're not willing to eat your meals or take your vitamins or whatever outside the gym, then I don't know. To me, that you're just not dedicated or disciplined enough or want it bad enough. Like that's the easy part is to get your meals in and take your vitamins and stuff. Like that's the part that is there's no questions asked. The part that should be hard is when you're on empty and you're low body fat, low carb, low fat, and you have to train legs 3 weeks out from your show and you can barely function to get up to go take a piss and you have to go train legs after doing 2 cardio sessions. Like that should be the hard part. But for us who love training, that's the fun part. That's like our own special time. But yeah, there's no excuse not to get the supplements and the meals in.
Yeah, so it's like, that bit's, I can say, the easy bit. That's like your meditation, isn't it? Is the training. That's when you're enjoying yourself, not when you're...
There's some days like today, I woke up this morning after training legs yesterday. It's been like 8 or 9 days since I've taken a rest day. And my coach had expected me to train back today because I was supposed to take a rest day on Tuesday and I just was feeling good, so I went for it. And so yesterday I crushed legs and I woke up this morning and I was like, oh boy, like a freight train just hit me. And so I'm on the cardio and I text him, hey man, I think I'm going to take a rest day today. This is how I'm feeling. So that's another thing that's changed this year is that we've, if I feel good, I push it. If I don't, then, should I push myself? Do I really feel bad enough to where I need to take a rest day, or is it just am I feeling sorry for myself? And I think by now I know which is which. Like,
Sure, yeah. So you were talking before about, before it was very much your coach had full control over your training, but now it's more significantly more input. Is that massively benefited than you then, because you can listen to your own body?
So I've always my whole life done my own training except last year. So when it comes to training, I would follow, Jay Cutler's YouTube channel, or I would ask questions or watch other people's videos or try things myself. Oh, by the way, I was also a collegiate wrestler, so I had collegiate wrestling style training that totally different than bodybuilding, but I at least been training for a long time. No, I always did my own training, and James had always done my nutrition and coaching, everything. Like, if he said do this, I did it. Like, he had every last call, right? Like, I executed. He had the plan, I executed. Last year, I was very thankful. I'm still extremely thankful that I moved down here to Tampa, Florida, to train at MI40 with Ben Pekulski and his whole crew there. And, I've definitely developed like a really great, I don't even want to call it a friendship. It's almost like a family there at MI40. Like, they've been super supportive, especially this year. But last year, Ben was doing my training. Like, he was training me in the gym, whereas James was always coaching me, like giving me all the guidance and the nutrition. So he was determining how much food I was going to eat and this and that based upon how I used to train in the past. Whereas when I trained with Ben, Ben's style was completely different. And so it just didn't really add up. And then there were some other things that we decided to try last year that we thought could help, but actually hurt our physique in the end, which, again, this is all learning experience. I'm okay with it. And am I ashamed of what I looked like last year? No, I think it was a well-deserved second. But I'm actually excited in speaking on this because I'm pumped that there's more that I can achieve. That, we tried some things and it didn't pan out as well as we had hoped, but that makes me so much more excited for this year's Olympia, and each time I prep for a show. So we're back to me just doing my own training and going off how I feel. He is doing my nutrition and coaching as always, James is. Ben has just been traveling a lot, and there's not like a falling out with me and him or nothing. It's just he's been traveling a lot, and I think it's best that I do my own training anyway. And as far as the my 40 guys, like I said, like, they're the ones that kind of like stepped up and have been really helping me out and pushing me through training and stuff like that. So huge shout out to Fred and Drew and Chris and Liana and everyone at MI40.
Nice. That was one of the questions I was going to ask, actually. You spoke briefly about the Olympia. I don't know if you can see the comments, but you've had a lot of comments about the next Olympia, how you're going to be the next Olympia. You've got a lot of support in these comments. What's your feeling?
I should have been reading them. Shoot. Will you keep the 212? Okay, so like I see it now. Like, there's people asking if I'm going to stay 212 or go open. Look, man, I need to only focus on the next 6 weeks. I need to do whatever it takes in these next, 43 days to be the best that I can be in the 212. And I need to not think about anything else besides that. So it interests me. I'm intrigued by the thought of going open, what I could look like at 230 or 240 pounds. I think that I'm very confident that I would do very, very well on the open. But, I want this 212 title more than anything in this world right now. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And so you best believe that there's nobody on this planet that comes close to my focus right now with this 212 title this year.
I like that, and I think that's got to be the best way to go, isn't it? If you're thinking about what am I going to do after and considering other things.
If this happens, then should I do this because of this? Yeah, like, why do I even think like that? Like, the thing is, man, is I wear this around my neck, close to my heart, and I really believe Christ is the reason why I'm able to do what I do and be where I'm at today, but by giving me the passion and the talent and everyone in my life, to support me and guide me. So whatever he decides for my life, man, is just a blessing. So.
That's cool, man. And you got a lot of support in these comments as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, it's ironic about the whole, like, me taking Animal Pack and following Big on a Budget, Evan Sitapani, early in my career, and then now I'm with him. Like, it's ironic, but in a way, it's almost like, no, I feel like it was, like, meant to be, you know?
Mm.
And same thing with my whole bodybuilding career. As soon as I competed for the first time, I just knew it. Like, I'll say it on this channel, actually. I don't know if I've said this publicly, but I said back in 2014 that this was before I'd ever competed. I first competed in May of 2015. I weighed in at 150-something pounds for my first show in 2015. And the year before that, I said by 2018, I will be at the Olympia.
Mm.
Before I'd ever competed. I don't know why. I was ignorant. I had ignorant confidence, but I just went for it, man. Like, and that's what I try to preach to people is that when I go to do these guest postings, guest appearances, interviews, I tell people, I'm like, whatever like you're passionate about, if it is bodybuilding, great. If it's CrossFit, great. If it's powerlifting, great. If it's not even has to do with working out or nothing, if you're passionate about art or writing a book, whatever that you have that's right here that you enjoy doing, that maybe you're good at, just go for it. And if you're worried about how to make ends meet, how am I going to make money? I could do this other job and make more money. Look, everything that I've ever done in my life as far as job to job and getting to where I've gotten as far as my career, I've always had to take at least a good step back to take 2 good steps forward. So it's like, you know, every job that I took that I felt like was going to line me up, because I used to, early in college, I was a server at a restaurant before bodybuilding. I said, okay, if I want to be a bodybuilder, I need to get off my feet so much and get a more relaxed job. And maybe I should learn something about this industry. So let me take a supplement store sales job. And I was able to learn about supplements and you know, not have to work as hard, but I took a pay cut, you know, a temporary pay cut so I could learn. And once I learned, was able to grow in supplements, you know, I did make more money at that job than my previous job. But at first it was a risk. I took a risk and then it worked out. Same thing with Animal. When I went with Animal, it was, you know, financially, it wasn't, I might have been able to make more doing something else, right? But then after, you know, it freed up my time. Instead of working 40 hours a week, it freed up my time to do more travels. Now I'm able, you know, I was able to compete at a higher level and do better at the Olympia. And it set me up to now I am doing better than I was if I was working a, you know, 9 to 5, 40-hour work week. So why I'm telling you this is for, you know, everyone's watching is that, you know, yeah, you might think like temporarily it's like a setback or you're scared because it's a huge risk, like you have a family or you have a certain lifestyle you want to live. But if there's something you're passionate about and you want to do in your life, then do it, because for one, you only get one life, man, and it's so short. And the window of opportunity is literally so small. If you're going to do it, you got to do it now, and you can't wait. So that's where I try to encourage people. If it's bodybuilding, awesome. I want it to be. But if it's not, then I want you to do what you're passionate about. Because if you do what you're passionate about and what you're called to do, then everybody wins around you, you know?
That's it, though. I love that. It's just, you know, obviously you're saying, yeah, you might have taken a pay cut here and I might have taken a step back there, but you always kept the vision in mind, and without doing that, absolutely.
I always know what the end goal is going to be, you know? If I can believe in myself, what the end goal is going to be, if I think that there's a possibility, and if I see an opportunity, then I will make it happen. So if I think it, like, can I win the Mr. Olympia? Well, I believe I can. Okay. Do I see how to do it? Is the opportunity there? Yep. I have really good guidance, really good support. Okay. Well, I'm going to make it happen because now it's on me, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And, you know, I can understand someone getting nervous if they don't see how to get to that, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. Like, they're like, man, I want to be this bodybuilder, but I just can't seem to gain size. Okay, well, maybe you're not doing the right thing. Maybe you need to readdress, like, look at what you're actually doing. Are you eating enough calories to gain that muscle and, to be that, big, strong bodybuilder that you want to be? Or are you missing those meals and missing the supplements? If you're not consistent with that, so I don't know. I think everything in life kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, it's a very simple concept. I like to just break it down and say either you do it or you don't. And with bodybuilding, that's eat, sleep, and train, right?
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. I just wanted to dart back because we were talking about the supplements that you started taking when you started out, and you said about it was the animal pack, creatine, and aminos. Obviously, that's what you did take. Would you recommend those same things to a beginner now, or would you use hindsight and recommend something slightly different?
So nutrition is number one. So if your meals aren't on point, you don't need to be spending money on anything, unless it's health-related supplements just to keep your body healthy, which is like a vitamin mineral support. Yeah, so everybody should be taking like probably a good vitamin mineral support like the Animal Pack. Should probably be taking like a good omega supplement like the Animal Omega. It's very, very packed with lots of good omega fatty acids in that. Anyone can take any of the joint supports, stuff like that too. Like anything health related, people can take meal replacements, whatnot. Now, as far as the pre-workouts, the creatine, things like that, is it necessary for a bodybuilder, beginner, or anyone to take it? No, not really, to be honest with you. I heard Evan doesn't really like to take too much stims. Me, I'm like, I used to be a stim junkie, like big time. I've laid off lately, and it's helped once I'm in a calorie deficit in the prep. But in my off season, I take a lot of caffeine and I get jacked up for my workout, and I love it because it's fun, right? I mean, to get jacked up and go in the gym and just crush your workout in the off season. Do I recommend it? If you have no heart problems and you're good to go and you want to take a pre-workout, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe start off on a lower dose pre-workout, like not such high caffeine or stims. Yeah. But I don't see any reason why you can't take it given that you're healthy. But yeah, I mean, it all comes down to money, in my opinion. So let's relate the value of supplements to the dollar versus like organic food versus regular.
Right.
Should you eat organic food? Well, I don't know. I think maybe there's a benefit to it. Maybe a grass-fed beef and this and that, like all this free range, whatever, eggs and stuff. I mean, yeah, if you can afford it and you want to buy it, go ahead, sure. But if you're like literally like penny pinching paycheck to paycheck, just eat the normal stuff, So same thing as in supplements. If you have the money to buy a pre-workout and things, which again, they're not very expensive, then by all means, if it doesn't break the bank and you're still able to get your meals in, then take the supplements. Take the creatine, the aminos, the pre-workout protein, everything. But if it's between that, like if it's between a pre-workout and a meal, you need to get that meal in. And if that meal's animal meal, then cool. Like you can do that too. I'm not trying to sell you one way. I'm not trying to sell you one way or another. I'm just saying, like you can still buy supplements, but it needs to be health related and it needs to be nutrient based if it's gonna be like if you're not able to get your food in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. It's a supplement at the end of the day. It's to supplement your diet, not to replace your diet or not to base your diet.
Exactly. The nutrition, the training, and the rest is number one, and then the supplementation is on top of that. And the only thing I would say is actually I haven't done the price point on animal meal, but I'm pretty sure it's really, really low. But I know the animal whey, like if you did like a couple scoops, like a normal serving size, or even two, that's probably going to be cheaper than really any meal, like the price of even chicken probably. Like one chicken meal, chicken rice, that's probably going to be the same price roughly, like one serving. So there you can substitute and buy a supplement. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. That makes good sense. Good sense. Someone was asking actually a question which was similar to one that we have here that we wanted. Was obviously we just wanted to know about your training. Your training split. You know, do you tend to train muscles more than once in the week? How many rest days do you have? What's your kind of routine?
Yeah, I like to train 6 days a week. One time a day, 6 days a week of training. Like that's weight training. Usually I'll do cardio at least once a day, every day, or like right now pre-contest, it's obviously twice a day, every day. But year round, I usually train 5-6 days a week at least. I just love it, man. If I'm not in the gym, I'm not myself. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's a sickening mindset or it's like obsession or what it is, but
so are you really restless on your rest day? Are you really like?
Yeah, well, except this morning. This morning I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm going to train today. And then today I need a rest day big time. So today is not too bad, but yeah, most of the time I'm like, what do I do? I'll still probably go to the gym and hang out there all day, you know? So
just go and hang out.
It's like a
interrupt everyone else's workouts.
Yeah, it's like a big training camp fraternity deal, bodybuilder.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's good. But another thing, obviously, is that most of your friends and everyone are going to be in that scene, right? So it's like that's where they're going to be. So
yeah, I mean the friends I have here, yeah, they're great. But it even extends to the friends I've had back in Indiana this whole time. Like I never forget who's been there for me, you know, and it actually just goes to show how amazing these people are in my life, because I probably have, and this is no joke, I probably have well over 50 people coming just to support me at the Olympia. And I'm talking like people that I know, like personally, like from several years ago, like from college, or people that, are just in my community back in Indiana, like back where I grew up. I don't know how, like my chiropractor went and watched me last year and he's coming again. My tax guy, my CPA that I just met down here is coming. And like everybody that's involved in my life is coming to the Olympia to support me. And I'm like, holy cow. And then of course, any of my friends and family that, they're all going to be there. So I'm very, very blessed with a great support system for sure.
That's it. I think, a lot of people don't have that. And that's, but obviously that will speak volumes about you. Not everyone's going to have a lot of people supporting them, and that might be a comment on the person as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope so, at least.
That's right.
Well, I always promised myself I would never forget, who was there for me. I would never forget where I came from. And I'd always, and I took a trip back to Indiana a few weeks ago for like about 3 weeks. And it was the best thing that I could have done at that time, because I was so stressed out mentally, and I just needed to be back in my hometown of Indiana, And, but now I'm in Florida. It's good. We're training, and I'm leaving tomorrow for a guest closing in Denver, Colorado. And then one more trip to Pittsburgh and then the Olympia.
That's it. Always going to go like that. Absolutely. Going back to your training then, we're a supplement company. How do you kind of schedule and structure your supplements around your training?
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing if you're going to take like gym supplements. I'm keeping it very basic and simple now. Whereas, like I said, I used to be a huge gym supplement junkie. I literally was probably taking almost every single animal product and half of the universal stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm a believer in it, first of all. But I always think like if it can help me like 1% or 5% or 10% more, and I can afford it, I can take it, then sure, like I will. But this year I'm keeping it very simple. I might take a pre-workout before the gym. I may not. But I always have my protein mug cake. So if you check out Animal Pack YouTube, you'll see how or even DerekLunsford.com, I have a link on my website for the YouTube video. how I make my mug cake with protein and cream of rice.
Okay.
So you can check that out too if you guys want. But I have that pre-workout. And then my intro workout is the juiced aminos. And I put creatine and the carb max together.
Right.
So it's like carbs, creatine, and aminos for my intro workout. And then my post-workout is pretty much the same as my pre-workout, which will be my mug cake again, the protein and cream of rice. It digests very quickly and easily in the stomach, and it's great. I love it. It tastes delicious. So
nice. Well, I'm following along your thing, except for that mug cake. I think that's the only thing I'm missing then. So I'll start with mug cake.
Red velvet. Do the red velvet.
The red velvet. All right, I'll give that a try. And then I'll look like you in what? 4 weeks? 5 weeks? Sweet.
If you have one mug cake of the red velvet, you're probably gonna eat so many that you could do it in about 4 weeks.
That's it. I'll see you on stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Next question was not that you regularly take rest days, as you said, maybe only one per week, but in terms of your nutrition and then your supplements, what changes on a rest day, if anything? Do you change?
No, I just don't train. I don't train, but I still do both my cardio sessions. And instead of having my intra workout carbs and aminos and creatine, I obviously don't have that because I'm not training. And then my post workout meal, I don't have it either. I will probably substitute it for like just chicken. Instead of having like let's say my post workout meal is like 50 grams of carbs, 50 grams of protein. I'll instead probably replace that with just 50 grams of protein and veggies. Other than that, everything's just the same, you know.
Right. Because I think a lot of people do try to, make these big differences on rest days and training days, and they'll add in all these carbs for training days, and they'll take out this and that for rest days. So do you not think it's massively important?
No, I think honestly, because whenever I experiment myself in the off season, coming off of a show, I do kind of like intuitive eating and things and training and whatever, to where I just kind of go off how I feel, and I can stay lean and look good and feel good. But the thing is nothing is consistent, so you really don't know what's happening. You're just kind of going like off how you look and how you feel. So when it comes to a prep for a show, you want to know what's going to happen when like James needs to know what's going to happen if he gives me like 300 grams of extra carbs. Like he needs to know, like, okay, if I give Derek, a few more cups of rice today, his body should look like this, his weight should be like this, because everything's consistent and it needs to be leading into a show. Whereas if you're just trying to get lean and you just want to look good, then, how I do it my off season is just fine. Pick the cardio you want, however much you want to do, how you feel that day. But when it comes to training, there's a difference between working out and training. I try to preach that a lot, is that if you're going to the gym just to work out and be fit and look good, that's fine. I mean, that's your goal. But if you're going to do a competition, you're training. There's a difference between training and working out. If you're training for something, then there's an end result. It doesn't matter what you look like or how you feel today. All that matters is what you look like and the end result, for that goal. That's training. When you're working out, then you're just, living the lifestyle and you're, being fit and just enjoying, being a bodybuilder. I'm not saying you can't enjoy competing, but I think that you get the difference, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Yeah, I get
consistency in a prep versus being a little bit more unsure in the off season.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. We've got a comment there. Why don't you train every muscle group twice or more per week? Do you not? Or
last year I did. And sometimes this year I do too. It just depends on what body part. If it's a lagging body part, like I usually try to train less volume. I'm not saying this is a lagging body part of mine. I'm just going to say, let's say someone's chest is smaller than like their arms or shoulders or back. I don't know, whatever. Let's say their chest is smaller and can't take as much volume. So maybe you should train 2 or 3 times a week, doing 6 to 10 sets in each training session versus a full-on 15 sets in one training session.
Yeah.
So by the end of the week, you're actually getting more volume and you're keeping it pumped and fuller. You know what I mean? So, and then once you can actually add in more volume to your chest training, because it's becoming stronger, then you can drop the frequency down to like 1 or 2 days a week and train less. So right now, basically what I'm doing is I have an idea of what I want to train, whether it's going to be upper body day or leg day. Throughout the week, I usually know, I have an idea. But if, like, let's say, for example, I haven't hit arms for a while, I might go, it was supposed to be chest day, but we're going to hit arms today. Or I'll throw in arms with chest, or something like that, you know, so.
Yeah. Nice, yeah. That's just good advice for me as well, actually, because obviously not everyone's in perfect proportion like you. So.
Well, the thing is like, if you can be like honest with yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and go, I haven't trained arms for a few days and they probably need to be pumped up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you should probably pump them up. Like that's the concept for me right now at the end. I'll say the end of prep. Last 6 weeks, I'm ready to go. If I wanted to compete at the Tampa Pro, I could have. But the thing is now it's all about preserving muscle. So trying to stay strong and keep as much dense muscle as I possibly can while I chip away at the fat. So I keep my training a little bit more limited. I go harder for a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
And don't do as much volume now, but I do more cardio. Whereas last year was flip-flop. I did less cardio, but trained like an animal.
Yeah.
So
are you preferring it this time around then with the more cardio? Yeah. Well, why is that? Just because of like the way it makes you feel, or you just enjoy the style of training?
There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons why I think it makes sense. But I'll just give you the number one reason. What I noticed the biggest thing is that when you're taking like pre-workout stimulants, or you're training in the gym hard, or you have stress in your life, that's going to raise your cortisol and inflammation in your body. And so it's going to alter your mood, your mindset, how you physically feel, all of that. So if you can control your central nervous system and like your cortisol and your stress, then that, to me, that's been key this year. That has been number one key, is managing my stress. And so if I remember, I told you in the past, I thought I had to go in the gym and absolutely murder myself every single day. And if I didn't do that, I felt like it wasn't a productive day and that somebody else was going to beat me, and, you know, somebody else is working harder. But that's not always the truth. Sometimes you're working like in the wrong direction. You're putting forth effort, but you're running in the wrong way. And I'm just trying to take a smarter approach to where the way I train in the gym isn't always the same every single day. I might train like a Branch Warren one day, and then the next day I might train very slow and controlled and lightweight. It just depends on how I feel and what I think is going to be best for me that day. But I think, and please don't take this the wrong way, I'm only saying this because I've been training for many, many years and it's all I really know. But I feel like for myself, I'm very fortunate to understand my body and my mindset. And I can be honest with myself and know, am I just being a sissy? Am I really just slacking? Am I just tired here? Or do I actually need to like rest, or do I need to like take it easy? So I'll make a little plug, which whatever, but there's a machine called the New Fit. If you've seen it or heard of it, I've been using it a lot lately. Like, so yesterday I trained legs, and when I was at the gym, I was like, man, I've been training for over a week straight, and I was like, I'm dead tired, but I was also motivated and pumped. So I didn't feel all that bad. As I was warming up, you know, as you warm up, you're thinking, okay, I feel strong today, I feel good today, or I feel like shit today. Well, yesterday was one of those, I feel like shit type of days. And I just mentally, I turned it off. I said, no, I'm not going to accept that. Like, I don't care how I feel. This will be a great day. I will figure out a way to make today a great day. And I do that every day. I know that I will every single day. But I was able to take advantage of the New Fit, like I was saying, where the beginning of my workout, I warmed up and I did, I did the hack squat. I did, a few sets that were really, really heavy, close to my PR sets. Again, less volume, as I was saying, but, heavy weight. And then at the end, instead of, just going crazy or even quitting, training, I decided to slap the new fit on my quads and hamstrings and finish out my workout using the new fit. Now, if you're not familiar, it's electrical currents, like they put the pads on you.
Oh, I think I saw on your hamstrings you were doing that.
Yes, that was yesterday, but I did quads before that. And so I absolutely obliterated my legs yesterday at the end of my workout using that. So, yeah, I posted several things about the new fit on my Instagram, but it's a great tool to use. Like so what I was saying there is I don't use that every day. I'm not a big believer in it every single day, but yesterday it was such a necessary thing for my training. Instead of like killing myself even further and wrecking my central nervous system and just maybe even burning up muscle and stressing myself out, I was able to use that to help me contract hard and get even more out of my training without actually having to, crush my CNS. Even though today I woke up and I felt like, I got hit by a train. That was probably from the sets before the new fit, but like that's what I'm saying. I'm just like I'm doing what I believe is best for me, and you have to be honest 100% first and foremost. And I hope this is inspiring to someone watching. Is that I told one of my friends here at the gym. I said, "Hey man, you know what you're doing. You're just not doing it. It's time to lead by example." And now he's been following his nutrition and training. He trains every day, but he doesn't follow his nutrition. So for those that are watching, if you want to be a bodybuilder, if you aspire to take it to the next level or just be your best, there's no excuses. You have to start leading by example and doing what it takes, because it's very simple. You either do it or you don't. You eat, sleep, and train. You live the lifestyle or you don't, and it's up to you.
I like what you said before about being very honest with yourself. Am I done because I'm just being a bit of a wimp today, or am I actually done? And I think that's something you see in the gym a lot of the time is people, I finished that last rep. Yeah, but was that really your last rep? Could you have got some more out there? And I think everyone's
we all know. We all know. If you leave the gym and you felt like you could have done more, you know what I mean? So. Yeah. I don't think you can. I think there's only one person on this earth that you can't lie to, and that's yourself. You can try, but
This is getting really deep. I like it. but it's true, isn't it? It's absolutely true. I mean,
that's why I said, that's why this year I'm not stressed out, because for one, I already know I'm going to do whatever I have to do to be my best. And there's no stone left unturned, as cliche as that sounds. I will do everything that I have to do to the T. So there's no, that's confidence, but it's also, I just know, I couldn't allow myself not to do what it, not follow the plan or slack. So that, why am I even stressed about it? And then on top of that, it's like, at the end of the day, it's not up to me anyway. Even if I do show up the best, whatever, so, God willing, I'll earn that title, but all I can do is be my best, and I can take pride in that. That's what I do. So,
spot on. That's it. I think everyone as well. Everyone's interpretation of what their 100% is and what hurts and what how hard can they try. Everyone's interpretation is different. So I think obviously this is really good advice. But saying to someone, do this at 80%. Everyone's 80% is different, and yours.
Well, yeah, exactly. And honestly, some of the best training partners I've ever had lift like half the weight I do. It's just the thing is what motivates me and why, if you know how to train, or maybe you sort of know how to train, but as long as you can give your best effort, that motivates the hell out of me. And I don't care if you're not even able to bench, 2 plates or squat 2 plates. I don't care. If you are giving it 100% on every rep of every set, then I would love to train with you and have you as my training partner. Don't care how experienced you are or anything. That's what it's about, is the effort. And that's what I've come to realize this year too, is it doesn't matter if I squat 8 plates, if I put, 30 plates on the leg press or not and get, you know, how many reps. It's about effort. I don't think the body really knows too much about weight exactly. I think it just knows like a stimulus and stress, right? So as long as you're giving your max effort to that stimulus and stress, that's all you can do, man. I mean, not every day is going to be a PR, and if you can understand that and be okay with it and just do your best on each and every day, then you're going to continue to progress. But,
Yeah.
you know, the goal is to continue to make improvements week after week. But if you're not, you know, up to par one day, I'm not saying it's okay not to push yourself. You have to push yourself, but don't think that just because you have one, I wouldn't even call it subpar training session, but if you just didn't have a top-notch workout, that doesn't mean you didn't progress.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I like what you're saying about training partners, and obviously it's all about the effort. So, do you find yourself? Do you rely very much on having a training partner who's going to like push you hard or something, or are you very good at self-motivating and training solo? Or both?
I am both, I would say, because could I do it alone? Yes. Would I do it alone? Yes, I have. Do I take advantage of the resources around me? Absolutely.
Mm.
I would be crazy not to take advantage of these, right? So that's what I would say. Do I seek out a training partner? Some days I have. Some days I need a training partner to, I'm like, man, I just need somebody to push me or tell me what to do or whatever today. But, you know, if I didn't have it, it would still get done. That's the thing, you know? So.
That's good, because I think that's what a lot of, I mean, I'll include myself in this. That's what a lot of people lack is is like that drive and motivation when you're training by yourself to keep going and to do the extra rep, to do the extra exercise. And I'm guilty of that as well.
We got Rolly Winkler on here. He said, "What's up? Hey, what's up, Rolly?" And then I seen another person comment down here. Yeah, he said, "Brazil gym rats love you, bro. Come visit here." Yes, figure out your local gym or whatever supplement store and have them hit me up. I want to come down to Brazil.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Visit.
I want to come to. I want to travel as much as I can.
You're going to have so many people putting offers in now. Come here, come there.
No, I want to. Hey, listen.
Worldwide.
If I have the opportunity to make something happen to where I can come to your country or state or wherever, I'm gonna try to travel as much as I can. So hey, don't hold back. Have whoever it is get a hold of me because I'm booking everything now.
Quality. Well, when you come over to England, come to York. We'll go to Oxford.
Yeah, we should talk about doing something too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Post Olympia or something. Yeah.
PowerBody Universal Animal Training Day.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. We can learn
It'd be good, man.
Learn from the master.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, that's it. Cool, man.
Guest pose in Japan. See, there you go. Yeah, I would love to guest pose in Japan.
Worldwide tour. Here we go.
Yeah.
Love it. That was all of the questions we had anyway. I mean, was there anything else you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to say about, I don't know, what's coming up for you?
So yeah, like I leave. So the Tampa Pro is this weekend. I'm going to be going to the meet and greet tonight and the check-ins. But I'm not doing the show. I will actually be guest posing. I leave tomorrow, flying out to Denver, Colorado, and training at Armbrust Pro Gym. Dylan Armbrust is the promoter of the show as well. And I return Sunday. Then I have one more trip out to Pittsburgh for one day. And then after that, it's just the Olympia. And shout out to my dude, Rude Boy. What's up?
Was that someone in the comments?
Yeah, he's another 212er.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Lots of support in the comments, mate. Been impressed by that.
And come to North Virginia. See, there we go. Hit me up. Let's do it. Send me a DM.
That's it. Cool. Okay. Well, mate, if I think that's about it. And I just wanted to say huge thank you for you sparing some time for us today and coming on. Really, really appreciate it. It's been really motivational, really interesting. Yeah, good stuff. And hopefully we can do it again. And hopefully we can get a session in when you're in England.
Yeah. thank you to you guys, PowerBody, and huge thank you to Universal Animal. They've backed me up ever since before I turned pro, and they've been great to me. So yeah, I appreciate it. This is the stuff that I think more pros need to be doing. And I know there's a lot that have been doing it, but look, I'm still a fan of bodybuilding, and I'm still a fan of some of these bodybuilders. So it's like giving back to the fans is so important to me. And this is a way that everybody wins here. It's just doing this little interview for an hour. People get a watch, and I think it's great. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, well, that's what makes me love my job. Is that obviously without this platform, I wouldn't get to speak to guys such as yourself. So it's quality for me as well. Really appreciate it, mate.
I appreciate it too, man. Have a good one.
Nice one. Take care.
Hey, if you need anything else, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll do.
Anything else, let me know. And if you want to, if you do want to get together and do something in the off season, let me know. Send me a DM.
Yeah, I will do. Definitely. We'll do that after this chat.
All right, man. See ya.
Take care, man. Thank you.